Okay, Roy, we'll record. Okay, we will call the Town of Forestville budget hearing to order at 6:37 on Monday, November 16th. The public has been invited to this budget meeting. We had it posted and printed in the newspaper at least, how many times, Ruth?
Pardon me, I didn't hear that. Wait, you're fading.
How many times did we post this in the paper?
Yes, once in the paper and once or on the town board website and at the town hall. It was just posted. You just have to post it once.
Okay, thank you. Since you did most of the work preparing for it, could you go through the 2021 budget for us?
Certainly. Okay. Everyone has a budget notice?
Yep.
Okay. You know, you're cutting in and out. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're hearing you fine.
Okay. All right. The first column is a 2019 actual budget, which is the revenues and the expenses, and that comes directly from my 2019 annual report, and that there are no changes. The second column is a 2020 actual, and from January through October, and there are no changes there. Now, the 2020 estimate, November and December, if we go down that column, the intergovernmental revenue is a $37,877. We received that today. That is our shared revenues. And then we have licenses and permits. We'll have some coming in. As a matter of fact, we got some building permits already like Saturday. Miscellaneous revenue, there'll probably be a few things, town hall rent and such. Under expenses, general government, that is the balance of the chairman and supervisor, which is part of it is the wages, Medicare, probably some per diem in there. And legal, well, that one might be a little bit short because I did get a bill and it was like $28 short, but we're not going to worry about $28. Under general administration would be the clerk's salary for the next for December payment, and that and some election supplies and postage, etc. Under financial would be the treasurer's expenses. And under general building, that $7,000, part of that is the $5,390 for the shingles for the concession stand. And under public works, that is the balance that was left for roads. And as you know, on the old substation road, most of that has been used, but we will be getting some of that back through the TRID, I believe it's TRID funds or TRI funds. And on the next column, the proposed $163,000 for the town levy. The state sets the levy limit, and our levy limit this year was $208,378, and that has to be shared with the Southern Door Fire Department. So you subtract $45,200 from the $208,378, and you come up with $163,178, and that will be the levy limit on our taxes. The town applied funds, this is funds that were left over that we are applying for this year's until this year's budget. On intergovernmental, the $164,670 is mostly Highway 8 of $119,000 and shared revenue is about $45,000. Licenses and permits, we should get about 14, let's see, most of that was last year was 1,400 was building permits, and licenses about $300, and then culvert and utility fee was a couple $100, so it comes to about $1,950. Public charges for services, that would be like snow plowing on private roads or those that have contracts. Miscellaneous revenue is the interest, town hall rent, and the tower rent. So that comes up to $419,997. Under general government legislative, that would be the town board salary. And this year, all town officers are getting an increase of $500. And the $24,935 would cover board salary, meeting fees, per diem, towns association dues, things like that. Legal fees, we have $500. And for general administration, would be the clerk's salary with poll workers, mileage, or election mileage, voting machine expense, and mainly postage are some of the main expenses. Under financial would be the treasurer's salary, and that also includes the assessor's salary and per diem, and what else, and tax collection service. Under general building and parks would be the town hall expenses, which include the sewer and water, utilities, phone, lawn cutting, and also roofing or repairs. Public safety, we've got $4,400, and that would include the Southern Door Fire Department fire dues, the 2% fire dues, and animal welfare. Under public works would be the roads, and that also includes the street lights. Under human services, $5,750. That would be the cemetery. We're budgeting $2,500, and for technology, $3,000, and the library, $250. So that would balance out to $419,997. Are there any questions?
Ruth, I see we're going to be increasing 1.26%, our total budget, is that correct?
That's how it figures out, but today I was doing some, yes, that would be correct on there. I was doing some work, and I noticed our taxes, property taxes, should be less, depending on the credits that we get from the state. I didn't get those credits yet, but it looks like our town, the tax, all, you know, even with the school tax, will be less. So that's good news, I guess.
Are you saying that the school tax will be less also?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I didn't realize that.
Didn't that referendum go through?
Yes, but that should not increase the taxes at all.
It actually was designed, as I understood it, that it would keep it at or below the levy that we had last year.
Yes, uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Now, did you, on town levy and fire dues, where do we figure in the cost of the trash and refuse recycling collection?
That is not included in this budget because it's first being on the tax roll for 2021. So we did not put it in this budget. The total cost, I believe, was $22,000 something that we would have to pay out by the end of December, and it would be collected mostly in January. But that is not shown.
It'll reflect actually next year then.
Yes, yes.
But that's a service provided that's offset by added tax, added above the tax levy, correct?
Oh, you repeat that again? I'm sorry.
Recycling and all of that is income that we would get from, it will be added as a service above the tax levy.
Yes, yes.
Wash.
To wash.
It would be a wash, yes.
next year. Okay, all right, that's all I was curious.
Ruth provided a worksheet. Right now, Going Garbage has had problems getting billing to us. We normally would have had our first bill on November 1st.
Okay.
And that has been a problem. They haven't gotten that computer system working yet. So technically, by the end of December, we will have been invoiced $22,110. And then that will have been on the 2021 receipts.
Right.
Now, in 2021, we will have a nice, some actual reports, and if you looked at other, how other municipalities handled their garbage and collection, they showed it in their field wash, income coming in, income going out. So that's how they showed that in their, I'm just looking at National WAPIs, they showed garbage recycling collections, $180,000 in 2020 and $180,000 in 2021. And their income was $180,087. So that's how they showed it. And that's what we will do in the future.
Okay.
We don't have those figures.
But that'll all occur probably as of the beginning of the year, and starting next year.
Next year, right?
Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
we will have to keep it as a separate account. Yes.
All right. That answers my question.
Any further, anybody online, Larry, that you,
Don't see anybody else online.
that wanted to join us? We only have, one citizen here. Cindy is here this evening. You have any questions, Cindy? Okay, thank you.
Oh, Cindy Delsham. Okay, I will put her down for roll call.
Right. We're looking then for a motion to approve the town tax levy to be collected in 2020, town tax levy to be collected in 2021 pursuant to statute 60.10.1 subsection A of Wisconsin statute. And also, we're looking to approve the highway expenditure for 2021 pursuant to S 8203 of Wisconsin statute.
Could I have that as separate motions?
You want two motions for that?
Yes, please. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, is there a motion to pursue the tax levy for 2020 to be collected in 2021?
I make a motion to pursue the tax levy for 2021.
And Larry will second that.
Motion by Jason, second by Larry. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
No,
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next motion is to approve the highway expenditures for 2021 pursuant to 8203 of Wisconsin statutes.
Larry will make a motion to approve the highway expenditures for 2021.
Jason will accept, second that, sorry.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Ruth, is there any other business to be conducted at this hearing?
That would be it for the budget. Thank you.
Okay, I now declare the hearing for the budget for 2021 closed. Thank you. We will now move on to our regular town board meeting, convening at 6:50 on the 16th of November at the Forestville Town Hall. Roll call.
Okay, Roy Engelbert,
Here.
Larry Huber,
Here?
Jason Klahach,
Present.
Dina Schmidt,
Here.
and I'm Ruth Kirscher, and I see we also have Cindy Delsham.
Right.
That would be it.
That's it.
Thank you.
Next is the public notice. It's been noted in the website and also at the,
Town Hall.
and so we need to present the motion to carry the agenda then.
I make a motion we accept the agenda. I don't think we're going to have to re-order anything.
No.
I second.
Motion made to approve the agenda. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
All right.
All right?
Opposed, motion carried.
Did you sign the agenda?
Yes, Larry Huber should have the,
Did you want to take it?
I'll put it in here for Ruth.
There you go.
Thank you.
next is approval of the minutes from October 19th.
Those were posted on the town website. Don't believe there were any errors or corrections or omissions. It looked like they were complete to me. So I would make a motion that we accept those minutes as posted.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made to approve the minutes as posted. All those in favor. Any further discussion? All Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion is carried.
Say, Roy, I have,
Yes.
excuse me, Roy, I have a comment. The Anape and Town of Forestville minutes that we had from our special meeting on October
Yes.
28th, I sent them to you and you approved them that they were okay. So I sent it to Sharon, the town of Anape, and they made a couple changes, but Sharon has COVID, so she said she'll get them back to me soon, within the next week, and then we can maybe look at them to make sure that that's how we want them published.
Okay, that'd be good. Yeah, we won't vote on those today then.
No,
Okay.
no, we can do it next month.
We saw Joe in the background, so at least he
Oh.
got pretty close.
Okay,
No, as soon as you get those minutes from County Anape and you've had a chance to make sure they agree with the minutes you took,
yes,
then let me know or send it to me, and then I can also post them
Yes.
as unapproved at the on the website.
okay, will do, thanks.
Okay, next is we got the treasurer's report. Did you pass those already?
I just gave you.
Yes, I mean, here. Oh, so hangers.
The contingency fund, we have 50,000. The money market, we have $18,998.03. The town checking, we have $1,273.58. The cemetery perpetual care, we have $9,677.58. The town savings, we have $3,661.16. The cemetery checking, we have $106.78. And the LGIP general, we have $104,164.09.
And we don't have any receivables.
No.
Okay.
And the dog license I'll be turning in to get new stuff for this next year.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions of the treasurer?
Well, I make a motion, we accept the treasurer's report as presented.
I second.
Motion made to accept the treasurer's report as presented. Any further discussion?
I have a question, Ruth, are you able to tell who's making those motions and who's seconding them?
Yes, I'm getting it.
I'm writing it also, just
Yes.
in case
Okay.
she misses
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, I
Okay.
asked her to do that, thank you.
Yeah, well, this is an experiment, so thank you.
Okay. Motion on the floor. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Public comments and correspondence. We just have a couple here right now. The sanitary survey report. Every 5 years, we get a person from the state to come in and look at our well, our septic system, not our septic system, our pump and our tanks. And this was done on September 9th. And then I got a formal letter on this past month saying that everything has been passed and we have a vermin proof cap on it. So Ruth, I'm going to give you this letter and ask you to put it in your file.
Okay,
And for that report.
okay.
Okay, I got a few other things, but we can go right into the operator's license application for Cindy and a Class D license for Tim at the Old Post Pub. This was
Yes.
brought up last month, and Ruth, can you give us more information on this then?
Yes, I did get the application from Tim and also from Cindy for her operator's license. And the fee was paid and it was also published in the Door County Advocate. So it looks like everything's ready to go. And I did write out the licenses for both and I gave them to Dina so she would have them there if it's approved.
Okay, it's approved, it's to be effective as the 17th of November is when,
Yes, tomorrow. Mhm.
and tomorrow, and the operator's license would be good until June 30th, 2021. So this is,
Right.
it goes from July 1st to June 30th every year.
That's correct. Mhm.
$10 fee, and
Yes.
Class 3 retail license is a $250 fee.
Right.
Is there any, would take a motion for the board to approve both of them at the same time, or do you need separate?
No, both can be approved, I think, at the same time.
Okay, a motion be in order to approve Cindy's license for operator's license, and then the Class B retail license for the Old Post Pub.
I make a motion to approve those licenses.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Right.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Can I give the license to Cindy and?
Yes, that would be fine.
Operator's license and everything, so that you
Yes.
can give this to, and then can post it. You don't have your seal on your roof.
I don't have a seal.
Oh, you don't have a seal,
We
okay.
don't have a town seal.
Okay, Cindy. Well, thank you.
Thank you. These are both of them?
Yeah, that's your
Yours.
license and also the operator's
I'm
license.
gonna take off. Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you. When are you opening?
That's questionable yet.
Okay,
Soon though, very soon.
okay, thank you.
Route to recovery. Oh, the route to recovery. Oh, the route to recovery. Well, good news, a lot of good news on it. Ruth worked diligently on this over the weekend. And what
That
was the
was a
grand
job.
total, Ruth? What was
The
the grand
grand-
total?
Grand total $9,031.74. And it was submitted on Saturday, the 14th. $9,031.74.
Well, we spent about half of it, didn't we?
That was a project.
Yes.
Yes, it was.
And that you go through the whole paperwork and do this, do that, click here. I think we did an except here between the Bastable and Forestville, I think we did an excellent job. Jill Law did do the one for Nassawapi.
Yes.
Nassawapi, I meant. Brussels put all kinds of stuff on. We probably should have had a computer for everybody here. See, I have a computer at my house where Larry joined me, where we can have a camera and microphone on. We bought a new computer purposely so that we can tie it into TV with a HD cable. Yeah, HDMI.
Well, the HDMI.
Yeah, HDMI cable, and so we can do that. But Jason, do you have a computer with camera and mic?
Yeah.
You got a laptop?
Yeah.
Okay. Larry has one. You don't have one.
Mhm.
And Ruth doesn't have one. Now Ruth is equipped with Larry's earphones and microphone.
Well, the camera we bought through the routes to
Yes.
recovery.
Recovery, but that's your microphone, and
I don't use it
you
anymore.
don't use it. Okay.
I donated that to the town.
Okay.
Don't put that down someone.
So the only one that doesn't have a laptop with a camera, you don't have one at your office either?
No.
You don't,
We haven't done any of that at the office at all.
okay.
We
You
need
could do
to,
it on your
we haven't,
smartphone.
we just haven't, huh?
You could do it right on your smartphone.
Can you?
Yes,
Oh. There you go.
just download the Zoom app. You'll get the email, you can hit it on your smartphone and you're in. Most of these laptops come with a camera already and microphones built into the lid, so it's pretty easy to get at.
Do you use a laptop instead of a regular desktop?
You can do a desktop. Ruth is using a desktop right now with a little
Webcam.
Logitech cam.
Okay.
Webcam, and the webcam taps into the USB port, right?
Right,
And your microphones tap into the USB port.
USB port.
Yeah.
So you can do it with your PC,
Okay.
but you don't, now, what do you have for, you have separate speakers on your PC, Ruth?
Nope.
No separate speakers?
No.
Speakers, everything's coming through your microphone, okay?
Yes.
Okay.
The thing is that Ruth was unable to hear some of the training things that she was going through with the speakers that are in the desktop computer. And I didn't realize that, but that's where That's when I decided I'd just take this camera, went out and bought a camera. And that webcam didn't cost $27, $28
20, yeah.
for a Logitech webcam.
Just on Amazon or something, or?
I got it at Walmart.
Oh,
I went over to Walmart and just got it. It was $28.
okay.
And I put that on my expense report.
I think it was $27.27.
Yeah,
$27.27.
right. But that's without tax.
Sure, okay.
Anyhow, so you could turn one of your machines into the ability to use Zoom.
Yeah, I'll look into it.
Fortunately, right now, almost everything that's in, and I was gonna cover that, everything that you're getting from the ag and extension is on Zoom meetings. And I've been taking in about one of those or two of those a week. Like right now, the prices of everything is going up, so all farmers should be happy.
I don't know, I should say that the milk prices went whoosh.
Maybe pulled back again, yeah, and I was gonna bring this up, did anybody, it's a little different subject, did anybody take in any of the Wisconsin towns 17 meetings that they had?
I have a hard time getting them on their website.
Okay,
I have.
You have? I haven't taken, I took just the opening series and that was it.
Those are the ones I took. But they claimed that in their newsletter, the Towns Association, that it's all up there. I can't seem to get it.
Okay, we'll talk, here, Thursday night when I hit the weekend.
I'll double check it before Thursday night,
Okay.
because Lee or somebody will be there,
Yeah,
and I can ask that question.
yeah, we can talk about
I did the opening thing, and there was, I think, Ruth, didn't you go on the website for some election training?
Yes, I couldn't get on, and I wanted to because I want my poll workers. There's excellent poll worker training, and I thought that would have been great for training for the poll workers. I could do it at the town hall sometime. So
that. Okay, you haven't done that yet?
no.
Very good. Well, is there anything else we need to discuss about COVID-19 routes to recovery? There was only one shot at it. I don't think
Yeah.
there's another shot at it.
No, everything
so
was
you can then-
submitted. Everything was submitted, so it's hopefully all good.
Yeah, so think of something, if we come through again, we might be able to do something more.
Right.
Okay. Okay, next item is our concession stand roofing. The roofing material might come in this week. If they do come in this week, you might get at it on Thursday or Friday. If it comes in on Friday, well, then deer hunting starts on Saturday, so you won't be able to get at it next week, but maybe the following week. So it's still, he still got it on his tab to get it done yet in this fiscal year yet. On the roofing.
I have
Ruth, you
one. I have
Yeah.
one thing that I added, personal property. I had
Yeah.
sent that out, and I was wondering if there were any new businesses in the town. I did change the old post pub. They had the owner, or had the person that ran it, but I changed it back to Tim's name. So that was the only change that I could see, but I'm not sure if there's any new businesses in the town. I couldn't come up with any.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Well, I'm aware of the fact that Aaron Thornton is running a shredding business.
Shredding business.
Yeah, NEW Secure Shred, he calls it.
It's called
but I don't-
NEW?
NEW Secure Shred.
Okay.
So, I did not talk to him about it.
Well, what I can notify the associated appraisals, and they would send out a form to him, and he can put an estimate of the value of whatever, if there's anything
Okay.
that's personal property. I'm not sure what would
Yeah,
be
it
covered.
would be, yeah, at S 1551, Highway 42.
Okay. That's Sturgeon Bay.
And it would be Aaron D. Thornton.
Okay, I've got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, this Maplewood Sanitary District report, they did publish the budget for 2021. And they had the budget meeting on October 28th. The total budget is $117,390 between revenue and expenditures. So that's the only thing I could glean from the,
So are they doing something different? Because I know they're trying to add on to Forestville.
That's not gonna happen.
they did,
So
yeah.
what is their, so did they budget that in there?
No.
Maintenance, repairs, no service contracts for, they only have a total of $50,000 for service contracts.
That was,
So evidently they're not doing anything this next year.
Apparently not, no.
they're talking about expanding the field.
Yeah,
Their levy did go up. It's 51,000 something. I don't have the exact number right now. And I think it used to be like in the 33. I would have to find. I can look it up too. I can look at my file. If I could get there.
Yeah, their total is 41,531. Their sewer is 31,170 and the water is 10,360.
Yeah, last year it was 33,890, and I believe this year it's 51,300, something like that.
Okay.
So their taxes will be going up.
Now they have a fire protection levy also. So you're right, with the fire protection levy and the water and sewer levy, 41,000, that's over that 53,000.
Yeah.
So you got that, yeah. That's all the information I have. Anything else on Sanitary District?
No, that's all I have.
Okay, Larry, anything more on the cemetery report than you had last year, last month?
No, other than the fact that I had met with Mike Meister, and he has yet to get back to me.
Okay, don't know.
Nothing new there.
I see, Jason, you did the Brockhauser Cemetery.
Awesome.
Yeah, I got the outside edge of that.
Yeah, looks nice.
Are we gonna take that tree down?
It's
It's
not
not
on
on our
our land.
crop.
Okay.
I'd like to, but it's not ours, it's Spindale's land.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's on his property.
Look at that, it's split into three
I
screws.
was thinking I could almost push it with my tractor, push it over there.
You almost did, huh?
What fit in there?
It's in the field. It's just on the north side of the cemetery, but it's outside the lot line by 5 feet, maybe 4 feet.
Or, it's not.
If you ask them, they probably say yes.
It's our Spindale from. Yes, about that Dietrich Farm, that farm.
Barry, I think, Barry's in it, yeah. Barry.
Oh, Barry and
Lonnie.
Lonnie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure if you ask them, they probably say it's fine, take it down. I'm sure they will.
Yeah, looks good, looks good. Senator Fire Department report, no more information. All I can tell you is that they're gonna put in the dry spigot for
Dry hydrant.
dry hydrant, dam, no further information on that. That's all I got on there. Door County Planning, door for broadband Wi-Fi update. Larry, you did a lot of work this past month on getting the Zoom information and all that. Could you give us a breakdown of what we have here in this facility? We know we have 40 megabytes Wi-Fi. We know we have 11 megabytes Wi-Fi.
Right.
And then the Zoom and all those. Could you give us?
Okay, sure. Basically, what was done here, back in May, I went after CenturyLink to get this digital subscriber line, DSL line, basically, that would then provide us with internet access. And I had 2 channels on that DSL line, one of which was the public guest access, and then the other one is the town board business only 5G access or the higher speed access. And that then enabled us to have internet here at the town. That my intent had been all along, over a couple of months prior to that, we had looked at an estimate from Sanitary to get a fiber line in here at a very high price, over $500 a month, but it would be giving us a fiber optic connection. We, as a board, decided not to do that and instead went with this digital subscriber line, DSL line. Then I put in a router that gave us the Wi-Fi connection. We could wire into it, but there's no sense in that. It's wireless access. From there, then I started to investigate virtual meeting capability. And as the COVID thing and social distancing came into play, I went and contacted, first of all, I went and contacted our website designers, Town Web Design, and Dustin Overbeck and Company, and wanted to ensure that we had the capability, if we did something like this, to actually post our meeting on the website. In investigating that, I can't do a live Zoom. I mean, I could do a Zoom recording, which is what we are doing tonight, of the meeting, and that creates a file. That file then needs to be accessible, and I can put a link to it, but I had to figure out how to get a meeting recorded. I then went to Quantum PC Services in Sturgeon Bay, and I had asked them last month to come out. Well, actually, I don't know when I asked them to come give us a quote. This was last month. And I asked them to give me a quote of what would it take for us to do virtual meetings. And based on some input that I got from others, and in working with the people at Quantum PC, we ended up putting in a 65-inch TV in the small meeting room, and that's a TCL, a TCL Roku Smart TV. And in this meeting room, we have an 85-inch Sony TV. And then in order to capture video and sound in Zoom meetings, we also went with the Meeting Owl Pro, which is this owl sitting in the middle of the table. And then a 17-inch laptop computer, which is used to control how you capture the stuff. And then I made I went and got a Zoom subscription for the software that is used for the meeting, which is what we are using tonight. And then there were some other things that we had to pick up along the way, a little laptop support. There was a video camera for Ruth and that type of thing, so that seeing as how she was quarantined and can't come to the meeting, we're able to actually conduct our meeting, and she's here present through the Zoom software. And I use the town's credit card in order to do that. Now, one thing you need to be aware of, there is in order to register that TCL Roku 65-inch TV set, I had to give them the town credit card number to register the television set. When I did that, I then discovered that there may be a $1 charge on the town's credit card. I don't understand it. Ruth, you've given me you forwarded to me every one of those invoices or messages that comes through from them, from Roku. And
Yes.
I went back to Roku and I told them that really I wanted that credit card canceled. So I have since canceled the credit card with Roku. The other element that came into play was the charge for the Zoom meeting. And when I registered that using the town credit card, they, for whatever reason, decided to charge me sales tax. So I then submitted a sales receipt or a tax, what is that form that I
Tax
sent?
exempt.
Yeah, tax exempt
Exemption.
form. Yeah, S-211. So I forwarded this document to them and requested a refund of the $8.25 because the sales tax in town shouldn't be paying that.
Right.
But there was no option when I signed up for the Zoom meeting for the initial subscription, there was no option for removing that. That'll be an annual charge. So it's $149.90. And that's an annual charge. We talked about that, I believe, last month. Then I turned around and worked with the people at Quantum PC, and I made several trips up there to get bits and pieces to make this thing work. They made several trips out here. In fact, Roy, I think you came in while we were installing this 85-inch screen on the wall. And so it turned into a rather involved process getting all the bits and pieces. And right now, we're limited to being within 20 feet or so of the screen with the umbilical cord that comes over to the laptop. So there's this is the one cord that feeds the whole screen system. And what I need to do, everything else that's all tangled up here from power cords and for the Zoom thing and everything else, or the OWL, I ordered a cable management sleeve. I just bought it, and it's like $12, I think it was, or something like that. I'm waiting for it to come in. So once I get that sleeve ability, I'll put all of this cabling into something similar to this, and then we'll just have that, and we'll hook it up. There's a lots of bits and pieces of configuration and setup, and I spent probably, I don't know what they're doing, 6 hours or something like that. But I was in here yesterday again trying to configure it so it's set up properly. I do have, and I'll give you a copy of this, Dina, and you give one to Ruth. This is the account usernames and passwords. Basically, I have 3 accounts established. One is the Zoom account, and there's an annual charge, and this is the username, the password, the host key, and the PIN for Zoom. It's all registered under the clerk at forestvilletown.com. I then went out and Roku account is the one on the bottom. It's the same way, and this is the one I said the credit card was deleted, but I'm using the same username of the Forestville account, and I'm using the same password on both of these accounts. And that Roku password also is case sensitive. And then, in order to post a recording on YouTube, which is then where I would link on our website, I had to create a Gmail account and a business account with Google. And so I created a Gmail account called forestvilletown@gmail.com. And there's a username and password. Again, this is so that I can access YouTube and post the video. And so the intent here.
So the website is youtube.com.com? Or is it
Just one.com.
.com was
No.
wrong.
Okay.
Larry was just, the second .com is not necessary.
I just wanted, because I didn't know if something changed or.
No. So it's youtube.com. And that's registered under forestville@gmail.com. And for right now, the password is current and works. So I don't want to be the only one holding that information. And so that's why I'm sharing it with you and Ruth, so she's got it on file. And in order to get tonight's meeting up, or at least captured, I did 2 experimental meetings and just did a simple capture on a laptop. And then the first one I did, I think we worked with Ruth.
Mm-hmm.
You were on that one meeting, right?
Mm-hmm.
You saw that meeting? Okay, so she saw the meeting, you saw the meeting. We knew we could get the technology to work. The second meeting I set up with Joyce and you,
Mm-hmm.
just to make sure I could record it onto the Zoom world, and then be able to capture and download it. And that worked. So tonight's meeting could conceivably be posted onto the web. Whether or not we want to do a live meeting coming up and after we've gotten a few of these behind us, we certainly should be able to do it, given everything that we've put together.
Mhm.
And I will admit that this is interesting technology. My daughter works with this stuff at NWTC, and they put over 600 laptops in the hands of students and all their instructors. All lecture classes at NWTC are online using this technology. And so she was invaluable help in making recommendations for component pieces like the OWL, and also how to configure the room as we are tonight. And so this would be almost an identical configuration to the small room. It's a smaller screen. That's what I did.
Very good, Larry. It takes a lot of work and a lot of trying to fit in pieces. Now, in the future, Larry's going to send out an email. If you cannot make the meeting, you can tap in and just click on one place and you'll get into the meeting. Now, what happened tonight, Ruth couldn't just.
I just didn't understand how to do it, I think, but
Okay.
that helped,
Okay.
yeah.
That's easy. Now, so now in the future, when we go live, our agenda will have a little spot on it where citizens can click on and come in to our, but we're still a ways from that. But and like in our my field here, I'm saying that the supervisor Huber is making this happen, so.
I'll tell you, this has been an interesting project.
And the cost is so much less. The Sebastopol's been recording their meetings for the last 10, 12 years. And they have video, they were paying somebody come and videotape theirs, and then it would be on actually YouTube, 2 days later. So they've been doing that for a long time. But now, the thing we might not have to do, if we find that we don't, after a year, we find out that we don't have any participation and we don't need this big, where we got 150 people for Zooming with this $149. How many people we can?
We can have up to 100 people.
100
The
people.
only difference on the subscription is that you can only record for 40 minutes
40 minutes. That's it.
on a basic Zoom account.
Oh,
By paying our $150 a year, we have unlimited time.
So that's a big.
So therefore, we still only have 100 people who could come in, but who could participate. But we can have a 3-hour, 20-hour,
Under that, 100.
under that amount.
Yeah,
Okay.
With that 150, we can have as many meetings as we want, and they can be as long as we want. They gotta be less than 24 hours each. And I don't anticipate that.
No, very good. The warranty on this stuff, Larry, and our TVs, a year warranty, do we have any?
It's typical retail warranties on all of that. This is consumer grade material.
Okay,
So, you know, I'm sure there's a year manufacturer's warranty and that type of thing, But, you know, it's like any other kind of technology. Things
It's gonna go out so fast, it ain't gonna matter.
Yeah,
Yeah, but once you have the capability, this particular camera speaker system we're using is really top of the line stuff right
look
now.
at the clarity.
Yeah,
So, I think it's working well. We don't have any problem, hearing Ruth. Ruth, you don't have any problem hearing us.
No, I can hear you.
One of the things we want to consider is that this is, will be made available for the public, but they can't come in and just take the remote and say, here we go. No, they need a technical assistance, so we gotta think about what charges will we have to have. Larry very likely will be called in to set it up for them, he gets paid extra for that. And, so we have to figure out if somebody wants to use, just a simple thing as using the screen for putting in a flash drive in it, that's gonna be a charge for that.
Right now, the remote, the TV remote, it's a smart television, so you've got things like Netflix and Hulu and all that stuff up there. But you have to have a subscription to use them. And the remote itself is the only way to use this thing. We do not have an antenna. We do not have any cable TV. All we have is whatever we can get over the internet. This gets locked up along with the laptop and the OWL, the speaker and camera system, is all locked up with our router in the small meeting room. So it's all under lock and key. These TVs are useless. If somebody wants to use that, we're gonna have to think about what are we gonna do? You know?
It's not free.
No, and it's here to enable our electorate to view and see what kind of, what goes on in a public meeting.
this is locked up in the small room or in the storage unit?
It's cabinet, it's special cabinet.
Oh, there is a special cabinet in there?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't been there, all right,
I'll show you after the meeting.
Okay.
It's a secure cabinet.
okay,
So Ruth has a key, I have a key.
okay,
At this point, that's it.
that's all I need.
So there we are.
Well, thank you, Larry. A little bit update on the broadband. As if you, back on November 10th, at the county board meeting, there were 4 communities, or actually 4 different applications for support for broadband expansion. And one was for Washington Island, another one was for Carlsville, another one was for a freeway of Egg Harbor, Jacksonville, and Sebastopol, and the final one was for Liberty Grove. And these are broadband expansion grants that were applied, and the county just says we support it. The county's not participating in any monetary figure. The municipalities put in money for that, the companies put in money for that, and hopefully they get 50% of that covered. So that's what happened this past month on broadband. And we had information way back when where we were asked to do something by September 30th.
Last month, we decided we weren't going.
That's right. We're not doing anything. Okay, Door County Planning, Resource Planning Committee, zoning. If anybody wants to do anything in zoning, they have to go through the Resource Planning Committee. If you want a variance, you have to go through the Board of Adjustments. The Board of Adjustments is a 7-panel made up of citizens. The Resource Planning Committee is made up of county board supervisors. So there's always something going on all the time. On garbage and recycling update, I thought, and I'm very pleasantly surprised, and of course, maybe that should be, but it went smooth.
I'd say.
Did you get a letter?
Didn't get ordered.
We got a letter, a couple people called me on this letter that they received. Waste Management bought out part of AES.
Oh, yes.
And then AES sold off another part of their, to some other company, I can't remember what it's called. And they sent a letter out to a bunch of people that were past, I don't know if they're past,
Prior customers?
prior customers, whatever.
My son got one of those letters, and he hasn't lived in the community.
Right, and then, so then we ended up, I got a couple phone calls on this, people asking, you know, you got rid of going garbage already? And it's like, no, we did not get rid of going, you can take the letter and toss it in the trash. That's what I told them to do.
It looked like a marketing letter to me.
It did, so, yeah, so they're concerned that we already switched from going to this other company that's.
Oh, really?
That brought out
Yeah.
advanced disposal.
Right.
Yeah, I got
Well-
one call like that too. One call.
Okay, good to know. We didn't hear
So I was gonna bring that letter with me tonight, and I
Yeah.
threw it. So it's, yeah.
No, they,
We have advanced disposal, and we didn't get no
You
letter.
didn't get no letter, huh?
They're now GLK
Yeah,
or something.
GDL or something.
they're,
GEL. that is
Or
it.
G-
Going is working real hard to give us great service. In fact, they use a small truck to do some of these dead end roads. In fact, the one on going north on Mill Road is a small truck. It's a small truck. Guy gets out, picks the garbage cans up and dumps it in. It's that small of a truck. So they're trying to get it special, but like I said, hopefully we get a bill before the end of the year for going garbage and we can pay it.
Oh, yeah.
But, no, it really went smooth, and, few people probably don't like the cost, but, like Joyce said, it's staying nice. I don't have to carry coffee grounds out in the swamp anymore.
Well, now, did Chris Mowat at the Land Services Department get the list so she knows to put?
Yes, in
Yes.
fact, I think you already entered already.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, already entered, double checked it again. We worked until, I think, what was it, the 2nd of November, Ruth, we held off on doing that.
Mhm,
So,
yes.
Okay, I learned a little lesson from Jason. If you want to inspect what's going on, you do that on a Sunday afternoon. Old Substation Road has been finished and shouldering is done. The bill came in for $141,000. And Steve Parent is going to put the final paperwork together so we get our TRID money back. However, on the big curve, junction of Wolf River Road and County Line Road, we made that curve that was sinking before, we brought it level, and of course, the freeze of the rain we got last week, we had washouts on the shoulder.
Again.
And so I called Tom at Northeastern, and he's gonna take a look at it, see what he can do, so we might have another bill there. And until that gets settled, we will probably have that washing problem for a while. But they did a nice job of shouldering, and unfortunately, with the heavy rain, we had a problem on that. We're going to be doing some brushing on West Carnet. We got to do that. And also, we looked at our roads, and for 2021, we're going to be looking at Salona Road and also the west end of East Center Road, West Center Road. Did we get any money from the invasive species?
Yes, it just came in.
It just came in about $1,000 or?
No, it was, hold on,
Oh, we did, okay.
it's in here somewhere.
Okay, we did get that. Okay.
Where would that have come from?
It would have came from the, who did it come from? I can't find one. One second. Oh, here, I'm in the wrong place.
Yeah, Dork
So
County,
it's, so right here, yeah, it's
$744.
yes,
Oh, wow, okay,
County of Door came from.
yeah,
I can't
Okay.
remember who sent the check, but yeah.
okay, good, cost sharing, and, yeah, they pick up most of it.
Yeah.
Okay, good, good.
I did pick up more, but.
Okay, next item would be the payment of bills, and where does that start?
It starts on 10/21 of CenturyTel.
Down the bill, okay. This extra, you notice that poll workers got an extra hour in there, and yes, they didn't get out of here until 9:30. Thank you for all that work. They did a heck of a job getting it.
Yes.
So that was a good thing to do.
And then I hired Lori Schlafer to take my place for registration. So that was $60.
And then also hired 2 people to clean the town hall. They did a beautiful job, Ruth.
Yeah,
Oh, good.
Yeah, they really, did they wash the floor too? I presume?
Yes, they washed the floor and they cleaned the bathrooms really good and vacuumed everything.
Yeah, it looks good. Looks
And I
good.
asked them to clean out the garbage cans too, to wash out the
Okay.
garbage cans.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
well, I make a motion that we pay the bills.
I second.
Motion made and seconded to pay the bills. Any further discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
I do know Ruth has a check.
Yeah.
Ruth, you have a couple checks sitting yet, right?
Yes, I forgot to say something. I wrote out a $660 check for Dina for stamps for the taxes because they'll probably be going out the second week of December. And I got the Maplewood Sanitary District bill today for $92.60. And I got Pinkard Law Office $118 for the County Line Road dismissal, the joint meeting. And this one I'm going to wait till the end of December. Door County Clerk for the voting machine, it was $1,670, and that's for the annual licenses and hardware maintenance for the machine, and the annual election 2020 shared cost, and for the whiz vote fees. They charge us for every ballot too, so it comes up to $1,670, and Jill would like that paid by the end of the year, so we'll do that in December. But Dina will need the stamps earlier, and I'll pay the sanitary district bill and the Pinkard bill. They're smaller bills. So I will have to have Roy sign those bills and also Dina, or the checks, I mean.
Okay. You got them with you tonight?
No, I don't. She hasn't.
No,
Okay.
I just got everything today.
Okay. This $1,670 that we have to pay the county, is that normal every year?
Yes, yes. I didn't think it was quite that much in prior years. It was maybe like $1,100, but I think it's because of all the ballots that we had recently, and we had 4 elections, and some years we only have 2, so it depends. They
Wasn't
charge
this
us.
a record, didn't you have a record turnout for this election?
It was a record, yes, 676 voters. It was a very good
So
turnout.
that would have added to the cost as well.
Yeah, we
Yes.
never show we don't pull the costs for elections separately, do we? Between our poll workers, between the 1670.
Yeah, that's.
between
No,
the
that's
1260,
separate. Yeah, that is separate, yeah. Yeah.
It's all cost. Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you. We did vote on paying the bill, didn't we?
Yes,
Yeah.
I made a motion, Jason seconded it.
And we voted,
Did we vote on it? I hope so.
did we vote on it? We voted on it. If not, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
There, done double.
Okay, no, done. Okay, our next meeting is going to be on December 21st at 6:30. But before that, we do have a Wisconsin Towns meeting in Jacksonville on the 19th, on Thursday night. I'm going to be in Sturgeon Bay, and so I'm going to go directly to Jacksonport from Sturgeon Bay, so I'll be by myself. So who can make it Thursday night?
Well, I was planning to go.
Good, okay, good.
I won't go.
Sure.
You're not gonna go, Ruth?
No,
Okay.
All right, there.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'd like to
Unless you're gonna
go.
be uptown already, I mean,
No, I wasn't planning to be uptown. I'm going to come from here,
okay.
so I could pick you up. How long a shot is it up to Jacksonport from here, ballpark?
well, it's not,
Half an hour.
yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
that's
So
Sure.
maybe 5:30?
Sure. Yeah, perfect.
Or somewhere around 5:30, I'll pick you guys up, I'll pick up
Okay.
Dean, I'll pick
If
you
anything
up.
changes, I'll let you know, but I will plan on going.
Okay. Yeah.
I know Matt
That's it.
Tussle has an excellent presentation with his dog, that Odin, the canine dog.
I wanna go.
Excellent.
If you haven't seen it before, it's a good,
We put money towards that dog.
yeah, and Lions did too, you
Yep.
get the little dog in the field there.
Okay, and Dina, you got this all set to go? I wish that we would have been able to,
A little, wait, if that meeting starts at 6. The
Yeah.
lunch
Lunch at
starts
6.
Lunch at 6.
lunch at 6, meeting at 6:30.
Oh, it'll be around 5, I'll pick you guys, a little after 5. Oh, 5:30, no.
Yeah, 5:30, we'll get there at 6.
Yeah, somewhere between 5:15 and 5:30.
5, yeah.
Okay.
So we got the letter all ready to go. I wish we could have put the pie shape of where all our money goes, but we never
Oh,
got that
yeah.
information in time.
I was gonna comment on this, Dina. If you took this one line, please visit the treasurer department at here. We put that one line up there, this whole column goes down just a little bit, and that'll be.
Okay, and I was wondering about that, and I didn't know, should I move it up, or should I leave it where it is, so when you're done, when you're reading, your eyes just kind of go up, you know,
Yeah,
but I didn't, so.
well, because it breaks in a funny place.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, I can move it up, I should have enough room yet.
Yeah, I'm wondering, well, you can't put, there's nothing else you could really move around.
No, I know, unless, no, that won't fit either.
No, if you move the property tax collection, leave those 3 lines.
Snow plowing I might be able to switch with, maybe. I put
That's a
snow plowing down at
possibility.
the bottom,
Yeah,
and bring that,
yeah.
put that up at the top, that might be a
Yes,
possibility.
yeah.
Okay,
That would work.
all right, I'll move
I
it.
mean, when you format the thing, put snow plowing under town board officers, and then you can head up the second column with
With
property tax collection,
Yes,
and then you'll have all the information in the same place.
I'll do
So
that.
otherwise, it's difficult for a person to follow that.
I know, I looked at that too, and I'm like, how am I, but now that I look at it again, that would probably fit down here. I'm hoping.
Yeah, that looks good.
Just-
Okay, if there's no further business to be conducted at this time. a motion to
Roy?
adjourn. Yes.
Oh, right. I have a comment to make. At about 5 o'clock today, I got an email from Jill. There might be a recount. She said, be ready. She was trying to get helpers to help her with the recount. If it's coming up, she'll know by the 18th, which is Wednesday. And she would like to maybe start, she wants to get her list by the 19th so we can start on the Friday, the 20th. And she's asking all clerks to have their absentee ballots, all alphabetical, all the requests alphabetical, which I always did, and I have that done, and have our test ballots, our tapes, everything up to snuff. So it might happen. We don't know. And
Jill
I
told
did.
me it wasn't gonna happen.
I know. And I worked for the last recount, and I volunteered again to do it this time. And she has about 8 people, I guess. So we'll see what happens.
You do this in Sturgeon Bay?
Yes. And it's going to be done at the, on 14th by the highway, the old highway shop. What do you call it? ADRC. In that
DRC.
building. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, that's a big
So-
enough building, you can have separation.
Mhm.
Yeah, because the government center shut down, isn't it?
It's it's going to cost 7,900,000 for
For the
the
state.
recount. And I don't know if they just have to wait for all the funds or what they're waiting for, but it might happen. So,
Okay,
so you know.
very good.
Who pays that?
Depends if either the state, who's paying that? Is it the party that requested?
I think it's
Or-
the party that would be the Republican Party or Trump, or if they, I think the funds from the voters or, Republicans are just putting their money, pooling their money together.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Okay.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
A second.
Motion made to adjourn. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Well, we are adjourned.